So if you've ever played pickleball, you know that feeling, right? That perfect shot. But to really win consistently in doubles, it's about so much more than just hitting a great shot here and there. It's really more like this coordinated dance with your partner. So that's what we're going to dive into here. How to turn that on-court chaos into total control.
So what is it? What really separates the good teams from the truly great ones? And look, it's not just about raw power. It's not about having some lightning-fast serve. The truly great teams, they have a playbook, a clear, repeatable plan for every single point. They know what to do, where to be, and exactly why they're doing it.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the 5 key phases of a pickleball point. We'll start with the serve and return, move to that all-important third shot, then the battle at the kitchen, how to create your attack, and finally, some advanced defensive moves. We're building a complete strategic blueprint, from start to finish.
Okay, first up, the serve and return. Look, this is where every single point kicks off. And you got to think of the serve and return as more than just getting the ball in play. They're like the opening moves in a chess match, and they're designed with one single goal in mind, getting your team up to the net.
And what's really interesting here is that the goal is exactly the same for both teams. A deep serve pushes the returner back. A deep return pushes the server back. Why do you want to do this? It's all about buying yourself the most precious thing in pickleball. Time. Time to get your team into the most powerful position on the entire court. And that leads us to this. This is probably the most important thing you'll hear today. Remember this quote. Literally, almost every shot and every move we're about to talk about comes back to this one single goal. Get both you and your partner up to that non-volley zone line. Because the team that controls the kitchen, well, they control the point. Period.
So think about it. The team returning the serve, they have a built-in advantage, right? They get to move up to the net first. And that makes the third shot, the one hit by the serving team, absolutely critical. This is their ticket to join the party up at the kitchen line.
So, you've got a huge choice to make right here. Now, your go-to, high-percentage play is the soft third shot drop. You're just lofting it gently into their kitchen. The whole point is to buy yourself time to get up to the net. The other option? The third shot drive. This is a power move. You're hitting it hard and low, trying to force them into making a mistake right away.
Okay, so let's fast forward. All 4 players have made it up to the kitchen line. Now what? This is where the game totally changes. Forget power. This is a whole new battle, one of patience, precision, and pure nerve. Welcome to the Dink Rally.
And just so we're all on the same page, let's do a super quick refresh on what the kitchen actually is. It's that 7-foot zone on both sides of the net where you can't hit a volley. That one rule, that you can't hit the ball out of the air in that zone, that's what creates the dinking game. It's what makes pickleball, well, pickleball.
So when you're in the Dink Rally, your #1 strategy is just patience. Seriously, you and your partner are moving together, side to side, almost like a wall on a string, hitting these soft, unattackable shots, usually aiming for your opponent's feet. The key here is you're not trying to be a hero and win the point with these shots. Nope, you're just waiting for them to make a mistake.
And there it is. That's what you were waiting for. Your opponent finally gets a little antsy, maybe a little lazy, and they hit the ball just a few inches too high. That is your green light. The second you see that, you flip a switch. You go from patient defense to all-out attack mode.
But where do you hit it? Just wailing on the ball isn't a strategy. The best targets are the ones that are toughest to defend. You can aim low at their feet, which is really hard to dig out. You can hit right down the middle, which causes confusion. Or, my personal favorite, you go for the chicken wing. You know that awkward spot right by their paddle side shoulder? It's just so tough to defend.
All right, so you've done the hard work. You were patient, you got that high ball, you sped things up. Now, how do you actually close it out and win the point? Let's talk about how you turn all that setup work into a point on the scoreboard. The absolute king of point finishers is the overhead smash. If your opponent serves you a nice high pop-up or a lazy lob, you don't hesitate. You move in, get your body set, and you attack that ball at its highest point with a really sharp downward angle. The goal here is simple. Hit it so they can't possibly hit it back. Okay, but what if it's not a super high ball you can smash? What are your other go-to finishing shots? Well, 2 of the best are right here. First, a surprise shot straight down the line. It's fast and can catch them off guard. Your other big play is a sharp cross-court angle. This can pull one of your opponents way off the court, leaving a huge gap for your next shot. But remember, this isn't a one-way street. Your opponents are trying to do this exact same stuff to you. So let's flip the script and talk about defense. How do you stay in control when they're the ones attacking?
Okay, so you get lobbed. The absolute worst thing you can do is have one person run back for it while the other just stands at the net. That leaves a massive hole. It's all about teamwork. Both partners have to retreat together, keeping the ball in front of them. And the goal is always the same: neutralize the threat and get yourselves right back up to that kitchen line as fast as you can.
All right, ready for a more advanced move? Let's talk about something called stacking. This is basically a fancy way of positioning yourselves to make sure your biggest strengths are always in the best possible spot. For instance, if you're both right-handed, you might stack to make sure your stronger forehands are always covering the middle of the court. It's a next-level tactic for sure, but it's how top teams control every single rally.
So, the next time you step on the court, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Are you just reacting to the ball, or is every single shot you hit, from your serve to your dink to your final attack, part of a deliberate plan? And that right there, that's the difference between just playing pickleball and actually mastering it.